Alrighty, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dirigo207 with you guys, coming at you tonight with, well, not quite NASCAR. We're here back in Kaldvann. I've been plucking away at this the best I can for the last, well, since I pretty much got off. I've been hell-bent and determined to get something going again, and we have the rough beginnings of a new Trondheim. I have been slowly but surely plucking away at this, trying, like I said, to get this back to something, back to some form of a Kaldvann. Sean tried to help me earlier get the original route back up and running, and we kind of did. We sort of maybe, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Anyways, but we got the old route kind of up and running, and the only thing that was saved on that particular file was the airport. And there are other saves and backups that maybe I could piece together the original Kaldvann or the original Trondheim and Kaldvann, but unfortunately, I'd have to import those and then delete the extra baseboards, paste it, and it just is doable, but it's not something I really want to sit down and take the time to do, because it's just, I'm already annoyed. So I just figured, well, let's just go ahead and focus more on rebuilding and starting something anew. So we have something kind of going on here. Just kind of feeling out a newer downtown area and so on and so forth. So I might shrink this up a little bit, kind of curve it a little more this way, make a little more usable area out here. But so yeah, so we're slowly kind of discovering something. Ideally, I'd like a skyline that looks half decent, and I'm trying to do something a little different. You can see some of the familiar buildings popping back in here, and kind of in a similar array as they once were. The Cathedral of Disco, the Opera House, the large Bristol Hotel, the what it was the train station. It's no longer the train station. The train station is not going to be up here. The hospital, some of these corner buildings, the telecommunications building, the stock market, economics department, the ball field, so on and so forth. The Allegiant Lines Tower has returned, but I've added some other buildings that I kind of want to use, and so on and so forth. I might delete that building right there. I think it's too tall for what I'm looking for. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Like, I like that building a lot. I really do. But I think it's just too tall. Oh, did it already delete? Oh, what a bitch. Yeah, I think that's just much better. I think that building was too tall. So, I think that'll be fine. So, like, this height here is just kind of where I want it capped. Like, you know, buildings, I think this is a fine height. And it looks weird right now because there's no terrain around. It's just blank. But we'll get there. We'll get something back. Of course, first and foremost, I built a bridge. Built a little, what's supposed to be a lift bridge and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but it's something. Just because, you know, I want river traffic to go up and down here, and I tried to make this look, you know, as good as I possibly can. You know, I wanted something to, I don't know, I just wanted it to look good, and I knew that this arch bridge wouldn't suffice, so, especially for this main avenue coming across between Trondheim and Rosenborg. So I wanted there to be a lift bridge, and there's going to be quite a few lift bridges along this way. You know, we already got a 4-track lift bridge down there for the station. There'd be a small rail yard, just kind of close to a small kind of intermodal dock, and so on and so forth. There's also going to be quite some good rail activity up and down the riverfront. There'll be a second riverfront kind of out towards this way, which will kind of separate Trondheim from the other parts. Is kind of what this waterfront will be. It'll be like a small port, kind of closer to town, which will kind of tie some of the more industrial aspects into this. There'll be more of an industrial center between the downtown, at least a port of some kind, but there'll be kind of an industrial-ish area from over there. There's going to be more use of the waterfront between residential and pleasure, as well as, transportation and commerce. So, trying to, make something out of that, while also trying to figure out, okay, I like some of the layout of the city, and I could easily go in and grab the old Trondheim and paste it, and I kind of feel like that's something we should do. Just because I liked a lot of the older layout. We could do that real quick. I kind of want to do that. So why don't we quickly go in? So we're going to do this real quick. We're going to quickly jump in. Oh, hold on, Alright, so that's the plan of attack is, so I think we're going to take parts of the old Trondheim, at least some of the earlier street layouts and stuff, and at least plop it in so we still have some of that kind of aspect to work with. Because there were aspects of the old Trondheim that I liked, and there were aspects of the old Trondheim that I really didn't like. So we're going to quickly go into the Kaldvann. I believe it's the just the straight Kaldvann file. And we're going to delete the things that we don't need, which will take a little bit here, but I think the end result's going to be something enjoyable. And then it'd probably be wise to import, I don't know. I gotta see environmentals real quick on the other Kaldvann if this ever decides it wants to load, although I haven't saved for a while because I've been just depressed building. Always fun times. Always fun times. Wow, this is taking a while. It's a big route. It's not even a big route anymore. It's just a huge... Okay, anytime you'd like to do what you have to do, trains. Okay, trains, anytime you'd like to load. There we go. Alright, so let's go over here to this Kaldvann, which sucks because... Anyways. Let's go into here. We're going to edit the route. And we're just going to go in and kind of see exactly what's going on. Gonna take a minute for this all to load, so this will be predominantly easier to delete than any other form of route, just because it is smaller. Still loading. That's fine. It'll take a few minutes to kind of get there, so... But when it does... There we go. Alrighty, so just kind of want to take a look here real quick. So... So yeah, some of this infrastructure I do want to keep, and just some of the building placement, just so I don't have to go looking for them again. And also, environmentals. I just want to see those real quick. So, I think the oh yeah. So these are the environmentals I want. So what I want to do real quick is I want to go ahead and, especially bring in some of these mountains too. So I want to go ahead and quickly, basically delete just about everything. Pretty much everything on down through here, and I might save... Nah, I won't save that, so... So let's just go ahead and start yoding things. Starting down here in Castine, because we're not going to be saving that. Ah, Central PA, how we doing? Welcome back, Size Knight. So we're going to come back here real quick and kind of come up here, and we're going to go ahead and come to the environment. We're going to go to middle of the day. We're going to take this, and we're going to delete. a necessary evil, but I think it's going to work out well in the long run. I also need to plug my phone in. It's on 10%. And it's going to stress me out into next week if I don't, so. God, some of that water work, I don't know why I did half of what I did, but it is what it is, so. But yeah, I've been kind of putting off everything tonight and very hell-bent on getting this back up, because I'm not pissed, I'm just bummed, you know. I've been working on this for a long time. I mean, technically Kaldvann was a thought of mine, well, a long time ago, but technically speaking, I started working on a version of Kaldvann back in 2019. The version that y'all see, or have been seeing up to this point, that you'll see in the previews to this video, which that was kind of bittersweet to see those photos. All that came in really 2020. So to see all that work go, and especially all the work I did during COVID and just kind of my escape from reality and, you know, building the world the way I saw it, just disappear, it really sucked. So I want to save some aspect of that, because even this version you see here, this might be, oh Jesus, there we go. I was like, please be taking me to the nearest land. But yeah, so it just sucked, because again, that's something that I spent a lot of time on, something that I deeply enjoy and, you know, really, really, really put my heart and soul into, and then just to watch it disappear, just, you know. And like I said, I could absolutely go and try and piece it back together. You know, it will never be the same, but I could definitely try and piece it together. I could put that work in, and I could do it if I really, really, really cared about it, and I do care about it. But again, to me, it almost wasn't worth my time, because of just knowing that it wouldn't be the same again, and knowing that, you know, nothing would ever be quite right. It would be broken, it would be different, there'd be bits and pieces of it that I'd have to redo again. And it's like, again, you know, there are things about it that I wanted to change. And it is muggy tonight. Grapes. Also, I am going to grab my phone charger real quick. Okay, so, so, you know, it's like it would never be the same. And like I said, I was saying earlier, there are many aspects of Kaldvann that I want to change, and that, you know, because of the way a lot of the infrastructure was already set up, I didn't make those changes. Or I wasn't gonna make those changes because, well, there was a bit of laziness to it. You know, it's like, oh man, well, I've already done this work and stuff like that, so it's like, I might as well, you know, I don't really want to go back and change it, so, but, you know, and then there's other aspects, like, well, man, you know, I could get back a lot of what I did, especially, like, that toll booth over in, Guy Ranger, a Guy Ranger, or something like that. You know, it's like, I like that toll booth. That toll booth I worked hard on and really, really, really strive to make it look good. I can recreate it. It's just, I don't want to. But, you know, I can recreate it. And that's something that I will do. Fictional places after Kaldvann. Well, Kaldvann is so expansive, and there's so many things to Kaldvann. There's so much to do that I don't ever truly feel that there will be a point where I'm going to make something fictional again. I also have a fictional railroad in the state of Maine that I'm making. You know, real places, fictional railroad with some real railroad aspects tied in of just things that do exist. But a fictional country, I don't think I'd ever build again. Partly because it's just such a monumental task. Unless I build like a nation state. But even still, it's like building an entire nation. It's like, just given how expansive my imagination is, it's just, it would kill me because of just how much I throw into it. Okay, we're getting close. So, like I said, I want to save the hills, particularly because I liked the mountains that I designed, and you know that won't exactly be the same, but I'd like some of it back. Like one thing I want to do. What height did Trondheim previously say that? Oh, Trondheim is really high up. Jesus. I think we're currently at 17. That'd be fine for some of these areas, but kind of want to get rid of this. Like, we don't need any of that, but a lot of these city blocks I want to retain in some aspect, and at least morph around or do something new with, but like I said, just retaining some of this infrastructure and even some of these mountains would be nice. There are some geographical features that I've built up that I'm not gonna be able to get back, which sucks because, like, you know, worked my tail off on those, but at least if we can get back some of them, it would be nice. And having just the blueprint, like, yeah, we're gonna do something new, we're gonna do something a little different, but to have this area, I'm not gonna rebuild. Yeah, I'll let this go. I'll do something new, but at least to have some of this mountain range back, like, it'll at least give me the basis to start again. But to be able to pick and pull off of it would be nice right now, so. Like I said, the overwhelming, or like I was kind of finding out earlier, you know, I've been talking to people tonight and kind of breaking the news, because, like, I'm still mad. I'm obviously still upset that, like, you know, the work I put into this is gone. But it's just funny the amount of people that have come back to me and been like, you know, totally get it if you give up on trains and stuff like that, because, you know, it's pretty shit when you lose something like that. And it's like, you know, yeah, I definitely sat down for a minute and went, yeah, you know, screw trains. You know, definitely was like, yeah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm definitely not feeling it. But there was also something part of me that's like, yeah, you know, it's you know, it's like, I don't want to give up, because the minute I give up, I'm never gonna complete this, you know, and that would be a shame because of how hard we worked and how far we've come, you know, and all the stuff that we did do. It would be a shame to the work that I did do previously to not just pick this back up and to not try again and to not attempt to get something put back together. You know, that'd just be a damn shame, and I don't want to see that. So yeah, no, we're gonna try our best to get something put back together. We're gonna try our best to make this right. And, you know, we're gonna try to just make this all normal again. Like I said, the funny thing about the all the work I did is the airport, oddly enough, got saved. But the airport is going to be a monumental task, and I think I'm just going to redo it. So the airport can go. The airport can go, and we'll redo it. And I'll make it better. You know, I'll make it a little more make sense. You know, I'll make the terminal a little bigger to accommodate more airlines at the gates, and you know, we'll just make it make sense. Took 41 episodes at least that I streamed, and then countless hours of work off camera. I mean, hundreds of thousands of hours, or well, at least hundreds of hours. I wouldn't say thousands, but definitely hundreds of hours off camera, and many years. And you know, it was my project through COVID, so it kind of held a special place in my heart. You know, because it was what I did then, and you know, this here is some of the earliest work, and then you know, it was interesting to see the progress just kind of develop as we went along. But you know, it's things like this happen. I definitely should have backed it up. Should have made sure I had a backup, and I'll have to do that, you know, now to make sure that something like this, I don't lose my progress again. I've definitely been falling into a bit of a funk, trying to come home every night and figure out what I want to do, and this is definitely kind of forcing me to do something, because, well, I want to see my progress and my work come back, and I'd like to see, you know, what I've developed and what I've done. Kind of, I don't know, I just want it to come back. I just want to see the new version, you know. Can I do this again? But can I do this better? You know, so definitely gonna be interesting. But one thing that will be interesting is getting the new version in here to link up with the old version, and kind of copying and pasting aspects of the so this is what's gonna you know, take a little bit here, is when we finally import the dem into this route. So we're just about ready to do that, actually. So I just want to check my layers, because we did import, you know, this was a version that had, okay, so fixed buildings, root layer, so everything's fine there. So we don't have anything else except a weird consist that's still picked up over there. But point being is we have what I want to save. So now what we're going to do is kind of come in here and go to merge root. We're going to bring in Kaldvann 2.0. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah, I hope Tim Lexington can turn his luck around. You know, he's been having a rough season so far in the 03, or I'm sorry, the 2000 words, the 2000 Craftsman Truck Series. But you know, maybe in the future, you know, he can turn some of that luck around. But only time will tell. Alright, so let's zoom way the hell out. Alright, so we're going to move this way over. We're going to bring it just down. Going to bring it just down. Alright, so there's that. Merge those two, and looking at this, yep, so we're just going to go ahead and plop. Add a trains fan. Yeah, we can definitely discuss future team members of CanMe a little more in depth once the off season hits. I do want to make some changes depending upon if Tim can get the season kind of turned around, and you know, who's going to be driving the 87 truck going into the future. I did hear you about the 13 with Germain Racing, but I'd kind of like to retain the 13, so might have to make some changes to Germain a little bit. We'll find some numbers that work for us that won't conflict too much down the line. Like, we won't be able to use 48 going up in the Cup because, well, Jimmy Johnson. We'll definitely find some numbers that work well for us and that we can definitely use going up the line. Just have to kind of move around as things change, but there are some numbers that I'm excuse me, that I'm partial to that we'll have to make some small tweaks, but this is definitely going to be the little bit of a longer process waiting for the route to merge in, so we could have some time to just kind of chillax for a moment and just kind of chit chat. So, but this, once we get the dem in, we'll go ahead and copy and paste kind of the downtown core of Trondheim in, and then I can go ahead and start moving buildings around as need be to kind of build the new Trondheim. The train we're leaving, except for the mountains, I'll bring those in kind of in the background a little bit, a little further back, so we can go ahead and kind of put those back there. I'm already yawning. Crap. So, no, that was quick. Alrighty, so that all loaded in just fine and dandy. It's actually pretty well. Helps there was nothing there. Alright, so let's go in. And I'm just going to kind of come in here. And we're going to go. Please load. Don't crash. Please. Please don't crash. Okay. It was just loading. It was just testing me to see if I was paying attention, to which I am. Alright, so we're going to come in here. And for now, so I want to kind of grab everything from like, so basically everything from here. Let me see, how do I want to work this? So I guess kind of from here, more or less, maybe a little further back. I'm trying to think of how to grab everything that I want to bring in. I mean, of course I can just drag it in later, but I'd just rather do one foul swoop. And bring things in accordingly. And then we can just delete what we don't need for now. But you know, we're going to kind of come over to here. Alright, so there's that. So that grabs most of what I want. So we're going to bring it down over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom. We're going to come over to here. It's going to get a little weird. Just because we're going to be kind of plopping right in on top of this. Let me see. How do I want to line this up? Oh, please, for the love of God, load. It's thinking. Okay. It thunked. Alright, hold on. Alright, so let's see. Oh, for the love of fuck. Come on. This probably should go on a new layer real quick. So let me just kind of come down here. We'll do this paste so we can move things around as need be. I just wish it would hurry up and stop having a strong. Was never good at soccer personally, although I was never good at many sports, so. Alright, let's plop that in, just see what happens. Oh, Trains is thinking. Oh, Train's thonked. Well, oh yeah, that is something. So we can go ahead and delete. All right, so hold on. Let's come in here real quick. Let's turn this off. All right. So I can pretty much go in and comfortably delete you. We can drag you out of here. I can delete basically these buildings. We'll drag that off this way. So really anything that I know is here is getting deleted. Just because, again, I already know it's here. So these buildings I can drag out of the way. We're going to come back and place them here after the fact. So like I said, this area is going to be getting a big makeover anyway. It's just I need to kind of come in and replace buildings and move things around as need be. But if I can at least get the core of what I want in here, that'll at least get us started. So we can do that, get you out of there, perfect. Get you over here. So now we can come in. It's so weird. And we can open this back up. And what I'm going to do is kind of come in and I'm going to lock down the root layer. And we're going to go ahead and delete just all this because I don't need any of this. We don't need any of this, particularly right here. Because this is all stuff that belongs over in Rosenborg, and, well, there's no real need for it here. So, this stuff we can come in after the fact and maybe tweak around with it and whatnot, but over here we don't need it, and we also don't need the highway the middle of town. So I think this is going to work out just fine. Just bits of deleting and getting things reorganized because we don't have the train line in the middle of town anymore. So we'll go ahead and get that deleted up. Don't need you, don't really need that. Don't need that anymore. I did see his 09 trailer, and I'm pretty damn excited for him to get going with that. It's kind of why it's like, I know I was supposed to be on NR 2003 tonight. I just, like I said, this took a bit more of a priority to me just because it's something I've been doing a lot longer than NR 2003. So it was something that was a little more important that I wanted to get done. So I can come home and race another night. I really can't. It's not that there's anything tying me to doing this, but I could not bear to just see my project fail and not be there and whatnot. So I needed to do this for me and to come in and be like, nope, I need my city to be built, I need it to be back, need it to be here. Alright, Alright, so one thing we are doing is deleting these out of here. Easy, slow down. Deleting these out of here. We're going to come in and basically delete that, you, all those buildings, all these buildings, and we're going to kind of come in here and delete the rest of these assets. Oh, no, I wanted that one. Alright, so there's that. We can go ahead and yote those out of here. Nope. Hey, can we not, please? Is that just, no, it's an asset. So I'm pretty sure it was a spline. Christ. There we go. There we go. There, so there's that. We'll go ahead and delete you. I don't think we need you, or you. Let me see. So these can all go. Nope, didn't want that one to go. All these can come back. I don't need these at all right now, so. Oh, geez. Well, that series is certainly going to heat up. I am pretty excited for the Dirt series. I really want to see how that goes. So curious to see how that goes for him. I don't know if anything like that's going to happen on my channel, but definitely curious to see how it works out on his. But what do we got here? Oh, that was the little sign for the bridge. Alright, so still have. Oh, that's right, we have the other bridge over here. That sucks. Can continue to delete this. The highway can go. We don't need the A13 over here. Don't need this. So much can go. Man, I feel like I already deleted this highway once in my life. Oh, Jesus. Alright, so it would seem we have the basis for the city as of right now, although I'll leave that for the moment. We at least have the basis back, but now what I need to do is add the tweaks to what we're doing here currently. So this building here is going to get deleted. Oh. So we can go ahead and come in and we locked the fixed buildings. Okay. long as I didn't delete anything on the bridge. I don't believe I did. Because I like this bridge. Very happy with how this bridge came out. I think we were pretty good about being careful with it. Hi, Tobes.
Oh, hello, sir. He is a cat. Oh, what a happy man.
Yeah, I'd probably do a series like that, but that would be way off in the future. Sorry, I just want to make sure that the bridge is untouched because I don't want to delete anything up here. I don't think anything got deleted. I would have noticed it off the bat if it did, but... Anyhow, so... Alright, so a lot of this stuff is saved, and that's important to me because that's what I wanted. Now we kind of have this weird gap in the middle of town, which we'll need to fill. But a lot of the important infrastructure, like the original buildings that I placed down, and kind of the core structure of the city, is here. So that's good. So this already feels much better, and feels like it feels like tons of progress has been made, and that's important. To at least feel like we've done something today. So get that out of there. But now I want to bring in the new buildings, and I want the new buildings to have their place in this new version of Trondheim. I remember this building is going to get moved over to here. It's funny how these buildings still kind of sit on the fringe of kind of the backside of the city. Although, without the rail line coming through here, there will be more connectivity down to this lower level, kind of, sort of speaking. I'll tweak it as I go. I did want to get rid of this building. Which, oh, that also brings in a lot of the names of the places that I had. Oh yeah, no, we are getting rid of this rail yard. Because this was a station that I built to be the quote-unquote long-distance passenger line at one point or another. Which, you know, might have worked back then, but I don't particularly see the need now. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We'll delete the tracks out of here because there isn't any need for the rail line in the city. There will be tram tracks, though. I do want to build a tram system through here. Of course, it'd be interesting to kind of incorporate into the new downtown core. Yeah, this whole thing can just go. There's no need for that. That has kind of passed by. But yeah, so let's see here. Alright, so kind of looking at it and how it looks now versus how I want it to change. So this kind of arena area, I want to move this arena. I want to move the hockey arena, the Octane arena, and I want to move it kind of over to, kind of on the backside, or kind of move it out of the way. This building here, I don't really want it. And this, I believe, is the defense department, or the defense building. So to me, it doesn't make sense to have the defense building all the way over here. So I'm gonna save it just because I want to save the name on it. But that's gonna go. And now there's the weird thing is like this is where the river came in to kind of split up the city, and now there's just more city. There's just more city to deal with and whatnot, which is why like this road curved and went that way, which it still can. You know, there could be like a park through here. Oh, the football field got saved. That's good. Oh yeah, I need to delete some of these roads down here. just little things that are going to happen over time. Like we don't need this road anymore. I'm going to delete that road because, well, I just don't want it there. This effed up intersection can basically get removed because we don't need it. So yes, the Octane Arena can get moved. That's gonna go probably maybe right here. Now we can start bringing in some of these buildings that I had previously had over here, and kind of building up the downtown once again. So what this will allow me to do is I'm going to make a pedestrian kind of right away here, a little green space in the middle, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of create a larger avenue to go out this way, instead of having this weird combobulated and disjointed intersection. Or maybe Piney Series can area. I mean, maybe we can definitely look into the Piney Series later down the line. I was trying to think like what buildings need to go where. Can move that all out of here. Oh yeah, I was like, wait, I think I'm missing something. Yeah, it was these buildings. So this building can come over to here. Yeah, I can sit on this corner, so... This will kind of open up a space to here. I don't believe this parking garage was here, so that's gonna get... Just trying to think. Oh, actually, that's gonna open up more room for industries. Or I'm sorry, embassies, not industries. We don't need any more industries, but the embassies, on the other hand, that's gonna open up a lot more room for the embassies. Kind of, potentially, it's what we could have a lot more over here of is embassies. Kind of make a governmental district. Just kind of what's already going on here. Please play Brawl Stars or Stumble. So, God games. I mean, yeah, I can check those out. I'm not really into. Yeah, I can definitely check them out at some point. It probably isn't gonna be tonight by any stretch, but I could definitely give those a look at some point. But it is good to see at least this back. I didn't want to lose the downtown, especially also I didn't want to lose my great environmental settings, which if I go ahead... Oh yeah, so much better. Yeah, no, that's just a billion times better. I will save this real quick. We're going to save that real quick, so now that we have all that together, we can just keep working forward. Just waiting on that to save up real quick. But big happy at least that we're able to get the I could see it being a little bit of a rivalry. I think a rivalry would be kind of interesting. I think it'd be nice to spice things up a little bit that way. Alliances only go so far. I mean, you can have 42 different friends in the field, you know, when the green flag drops, but when it starts getting down to 10 to go, you're going to have 42 enemies knocking on your back door at any given time. So I see Bump and Run and Can Me probably being good rivals. Nothing huge, but definitely not like Denny Hamlin and, well, Denny Hamlin versus the field at this point, but oh, that's Toby. He's a cat. National animal of Kaldvann is Toby. Yeah, you're a good boy. Living his best life. Glad I found him. Oh, hi, Sarby. Sniffs. There you go. Noggin scratches. Gentle noggin scratches. My boy. That's a good cat. Taking a minute to save, but a lot just happened, so oh yeah, no, I can't stand Denny Hamlin. You know, and to me, it's just difficult to support him, just because how controversial he is, and you know the fact that he'll say, you know, oh well, there's no respect in the garage, and it's like, okay, fair assessment, and he just goes out and races like he does, and it's like, well, there's no respect in the garage because you don't show any respect on the track. No one's just gonna respect you because you've been doing this a lot longer. You know, especially with how you've been racing everyone, no one's just gonna respect you. I think he's an ass, honestly. I used to think very highly of Denny Hamlin. You know. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying Ross Chastain is, you know, the world's cleanest race car driver. I understand Ross Chastain is a particular curious little case there. But I don't think very highly of Denny Hamlin at all. So I think he's a hypocrite. I think he's I think he's kind of a loser. So, but what do I know? I just sit here and race fake cars all day. But you know, I don't really think very highly of him. You know, I think that if he wants respect, then he has to go out there and earn it. You know, respect isn't just given to you. Just because. You gotta go earn it. So, go earn it. You know, show people that you're a driver worth respecting. You know, and something I didn't particularly like before I go off on a huge tangent, which I'll stop it here in a moment, but Something I didn't like was how he commented, well, Mark Martin would even change how he drives, or, with these new cars. It's like, how do you know? Maybe he would. I don't think Mark Martin would. I think Mark Martin would have continued to race everyone just as clean as he always had. Yeah, no, it's like, I think Kyle Petty said it just fine. You did it last year, you did it again this year. That's boring. That didn't impress me. You already did that move. You showed us that you did that. That same move in the same corner with X amount of laps to go, he ran someone up into the wall. Like, again, we've already seen him do that, so I don't sit there and think too kindly. It's like, you've shown us you'll do whatever it takes to get to the line. And like I said, you can have 42 friends at the beginning of the race, but by the end of the race, you can have 42 enemies all banging down your door. But with just how he races everyone, I'm all set. Alright. So let's continue to place these buildings in here. The only thing about Kyle Busch that I didn't like was how he ran Ron Hornaday Jr. Was it Ron Hornaday Jr.? Yeah, I think it was Ron Hornaday Jr. Up into the wall in the truck race when they were under caution and completely destroyed his truck at was it Texas? That was definitely where Kyle Busch had lost me for a long time. But I have to say, over the years, Kyle Busch has grown on me, and especially now where he's, kind of later in his career, it was like, okay, he definitely had a run-in with Chase Elliott at Darlington during COVID. Is what it is. That's just racing. He didn't press the issue, and I think, Kyle Busch is always. I think he's definitely played that part pretty well. He's played the villain, and I think the villains suit him pretty well. In a time where we were losing controversial figures, we were losing drivers who, we didn't have a lot of these big figures anymore. We didn't have a lot of these drivers who went out there and, just dumped someone because they could. That didn't sit there and say something, out there because they could. And Kyle Busch was the guy. He wore that black hat. He put on that black hat and wore it well. And I have to give it to him. He definitely played the villain. I think it's an act. The more I kind of started to understand, how, not the world works, but at least just how, motorsports works and stuff like that. Like, I do think Kyle Busch was definitely putting on an act. But as he's definitely matured and so on and so forth, like, I think he talked about it best in this past race. It's like, all these guys are racing like it's, two to go. Two to go now. It's like, the garage is so vastly different. But, the big thing is that Kyle Busch isn't afraid to speak his mind. And, when he speaks, it's like, everyone listens. I think he sits in a very, I think when he speaks, he has something to say. And now that he's kind of filling into that senior role, it's like, okay, let's listen to what Kyle Busch has to say. Because he might have something pretty good for us. So, and yeah, his son's kind of coming up through, and that boy has some talent. That boy definitely has some talent, and I think in the next 10, 15 years, Brexton Busch is definitely going to be a big name. There will be another Busch racing in the series and stuff like that, racing in NASCAR before too long. Be nice to see, because I've always liked the Bushes and stuff like that. They I don't know, to me they were NASCAR. To me, the Bushes kind of, made NASCAR entertaining, especially, Kurt Busch way back. Kurt Busch was controversial way back, and now he's a very beloved figure. Kyle, he's well loved, so on and so forth. Love him or hate him, I mean, he can drive. He can definitely drive, so. And he's got good talent, and I'm glad he came into his own, really. But all right, so let me see here. What are we doing? So we got more buildings to kind of throw around. Kind of got this conglomerate hodgepodge of buildings back here that I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing with. Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I don't know. I think Kyle Busch will definitely continue to make waves in NASCAR for a long time to come. Even when he's done, whenever he's decided that he's had enough and he wants to hang it up, I think Kyle Busch will continue to make waves in NASCAR. And he'll obviously have a hand in the sport in the future with his son coming up through. His wife. I love his wife and how into it she is and stuff like that, and how she gets into the sport too, and she gets into the drama, and she, I just love it. I just love it. I love. I don't know. Just watching the Bushes now, it's like, and I didn't ever think I'd like watching them, because Kurt Busch was such an airhead back then and stuff like that. Kind of like Brad Keselowski. He was kind of a out there driver once upon a time. He was definitely one of the ones who was like, man, that guy, what a douche, what a dick. But it's like, now I see these guys. Now I see, Brad Keselowski, and it's like, oh man, I love Brad Keselowski, and I love watching Kyle Busch out there, and I love watching, I loved watching Kurt Busch too when he was still around, and Clint Boyer, and it's nice to still see Clint around the sport and doing things and just being Clint Boyer, and one driver that I can't stand, Joey Logano. Never have, never will. Couldn't get me to if I tried. You will never see me like Joey Logano. I can't stand him. But real quick, so what we're doing here is we're kind of building up a little kind of, not the secondary kind of core, but you have the main core kind of over here, and then kind of in this area by the ball fields, and this kind of being the money part of town, because you have the stock market and the economics building over here. This was kind of the second part of the town that got built up, which will then kind of taper off into some of these newer kind of high rises and stuff like that. Kind of back here near the ball fields, the town kind of pushes on towards the back. I think there'll be a park of some kind that will split up the downtown, and maybe they'll transition into. Sorry, there's cat fur everywhere right now. and I inhaled like every little bit of it. Get that back up to height. Yeah, no, Joe Logano, I can't stand him. I think he's a dick. Alright, now I feel like we should grab Marienburg. Particularly, we'll grab it from... right about there, and we'll bring it out to over here-ish. And we'll bring it out to like right here. Or maybe I'll grab that because I'd like some sort of concrete mark to line up with. So we'll grab that. Oops. How are these not lined up? How the hell did that not all line up? I don't quite understand that. So that was gonna drive me up a damn wall. Alright, so let's see here. So I'm gonna take it from here. And we'll go over to here. There. That should line up, and if it don't, well, someone's getting smacked. So be more of a rivalry and stuff like that, because like I was saying earlier, or how I commented, was like, you know, yeah, you can have friends out in the racetrack, most certainly. Start out with 42 friends before every race, that's absolutely fine, but when the push comes to shove, right up toward the end of the race, you ain't gonna find a lot of friends out there. So I could see it being, how the hell did this not line up? I don't understand. Something ain't up my brain. I can tell you that right now. So, but yeah, no. The way I see it is that I could see us being more rivals than anything else. Alright, so I'll just grab this from here and let's try this again. It has to line up. I mean, it's just on a grid, so I don't understand how it couldn't line up. Actually, I think I see how it's not lining up. Yep. For some reason, this is all pasted kind of off kilter, I think. That's fine. There we go. It might not be exactly perfect, but at least it gets this neighborhood back in here. Again, with some minor changes that will be coming, so we don't have to squeeze this avenue up here now, so that'll be nice. We can also get rid of you. As well as this patio area, because it's no longer up on an incline. So we can do that, get you out of here. Alright, so this area is back again, which might not fit much. Don't know. We'll kind of wait and see as time rolls along. Now, alternatively, I could put the Octet Arena back in its spot and then move some of those buildings over that way on the other side of the ball field, which maybe actually wouldn't be a bad idea. So, yeah, I think we're going to do that. Can I help you? Oh, yeah, I locked that layer. So, unlock. Alright, so we're going to move you over here. Going to move you back. I'm just going to kind of push you back a little bit, because we're going to bring that avenue a little more closer to... I'd like to not make this a one-way. So we're going to kind of move that back. It doesn't really create a lot of room. We still get room for the service area, I believe that is, and then just you kind of have the weird back areas around here. And these bigger buildings are going to kind of move off. They'll come more out this way, which will be kind of the... Man, I really wish I could, to spell fire department in, I think it's FEU. Let's see. Yeah, because I wanted this fire station back. That's Central Station. Which station? What was that station? Oh, I have to label the stations again. Damn it. Yeah, because apparently that's Central Station, and that is not Central Station, so... let's see. It's not like 2:30 as well. Probably should maybe start wrapping it up here soon-ish and going towards bed. Alright, so that's Central Station. Trying to figure out what buildings I want where again. Just because now we're sitting on a new street corner. I mean, if I could get a lap counter, that'd be wonderful. I'd like to count the laps. But, you know, it's kind of as the race goes along, so the audience can keep up, but unfortunately I don't really know how to implement that into a stream. I'm sure there's a way for me to do it manually. I just don't want to have to remember to hit a button every single time I cross the line, because that's just one more damn thing I have to do. And yes, that is the sound of me being lazy. So, but it's like, you know, I think I already have a good system right now with being, you know, with changing the particular cards as I roll along through the race. Especially as cautions happen and such, but it's like, you know, the less I have to do, the better. Ultimately speaking and stuff like that. It's like the less workload that I have, ultimately the better. Move that away from there so the helipad can remain open. Oh yeah, no, definitely have to add it with my own spin. I don't like just flat out copying. You know, I try to take, like with my card in the upper left-hand corner of the stream. You know, I try to take inspiration from both him and Squared and try to put my own little twist onto it so that way it's not a direct copy of what they do. You know, it's close enough to where you go, oh hey, I know where he got that from. Or oh hey, I've seen that before. You know, but it's like, well, that's Dirigo 207's, you know, race card and stuff like that and such, so it's not like you're looking at it going, oh, that's Squared's or that's RFY's. You know, that's Dirigo's. Oh, here comes my cat. Hello, sir. I still have pizza in the fridge. I need to eat that. building is just very hard to work with, so we're going to remove that. This building that I was trying to find a home for can most certainly come down over here. We'll wait and see what the future of the 48 truck is. You know, I'm starting to fade, so definitely probably not the best time to be doing a lot of race planning and stuff like that. But you know, we'll wait and see how I'm feeling and what we're thinking, who's going to be in that ride later down the line when that time does roll around. But as of right now, I don't think there's any real, you know, I don't know what the 48 truck's going to have down the line. You know, and of course, as time moves on, we rebrand, you know, truck numbers change, trucks, you know, might, different guys will come in and try to pilot that truck, you know, maybe Ron Fellows does come in for a few seasons to try to fill in, who knows. Like I said, maybe I don't make it in Bush and I come back to trucks, you know, and such, with stuff like that. So it's like, you know, once we get there, we'll know better of what we're doing. But as of right now, you know, yeah, maybe we could absolutely do that. But got to get there first, you know, and kind of figure that out over time. Oops. Yeah, I know he races the 48 and such, you know, but we'll definitely kind of see as we get there. I'm starting to feel my throat get a little sore. I think I've been talking a lot today. Oh, hello. I know I wasn't petting you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Toby. He was very offended I was not petting him. The poor man. However, will he survive? Now, there's a hotel building around here somewhere. Gotta remember where the hell it is. And there it is. Oh, flub. He was flubbeted. Yes, you. Oh, you got flubbeted, sir. Possibly. I am working a little late, but I don't see there could be a problem with in our stream tomorrow. Definitely need to get it done because I want to do it today. I just got caught up with this, just because this was on the mind a little more than NR 2003. So I definitely wanted to get this done. We're gonna back this building up a little bit just so it's a little more out of the line. Although I kind of want the hotel kind of more facing the plaza. Take this road or the sidewalk and extend it out. Now, one thing we do have to consider is the A13 will be coming somewhere through this section. Probably be somewhere over here as it curves to head out towards, well, back down the island. I didn't know you had cats. I love cats. Love kitty cats. So now with the removal of the embassies from this region, this does leave this area kind of open and blank. So we'll definitely need to figure out what's going over here. And I think, I'm sorry. I think a lot of the buildings like we're seeing elsewhere, particularly kind of in, God damn it, particularly in this kind of area, I think we're going to see a lot more of those. These kind of lower, older style buildings will make up more of what's over here. What I want to do here is extend this road across and have it kind of, well, go across and make this area into a kind of a central park, more or less, which would then kind of create more of a corner, and you know, it would make cross traffic coming through the city, which I might in turn move this building over and then bring that road through again and head out towards this way, which again, we have to make more utilization of this space now. There's more room in this part of the city. The city is bigger in theory, because you look at how small it was beforehand in between the water here and the river, and you can see where the river was. That's the river right there. Now we're going to have a small kind of inlet over here for a harbor industrial area and whatnot, so there's more room for us to make do with. So we have to definitely utilize that space a little more. And in areas like back here, we can definitely do more things, like with trams. I definitely want to add trams. I would like to see a tram kind of come through here and kind of snake its way along the existing infrastructure. You know, I could see it coming out to here and then making a right turn and then heading out this way and kind of snaking along the back streets of these areas and whatnot. Definitely think we could see the tram coming up through this way near the ball fields. I think it'd be important to have them come through here. I think we can turn that building to the broadside and take up a little more space along this avenue. But I think Trondheim is coming back along a little bit. Like I said, we have a lot more work to do, but I think that it is, we're seeing something again, and that's important. So yeah, the rest of Kaldvann is gone, despite the terrain and stuff like that, but a core part of what we were working for and what we were working toward is back. And I think that's an important start into expanding outward again. And we'll work on this till we get tired and bored of it, and then we'll move back and rebuild some of the rural areas again. And rebuild some of that rail line. And I have to send this to Sean and have him build a hump yard now. Excuse me. Something we could do over here is take what was Rosenborg and throw it over here a little bit. We could do that, or we could just throw Rosenborg on the other side again and not make it so dense, but make it a little more rural and maybe, you know, like the former textile area as it's intended to be. I'm going to move this building just so that way I don't forget, because I'm going to forget. So actually, before I get too far along, I want to take that road and extend it across, because if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget, because that's just how things work right now. There, so we'll bring that back in. Gonna move the Commonwealth's embassy. That'll just be a placeholder for now. I'm not gonna bother moving it or finding a permanent home for it, because I don't have a spot in mind yet. I'll put some grass down, just that way we know what's going where. Canby was founded. Oh God. Let's see. I have to flip through some notes here. Originally, it was founded, I believe, in the late 80s as a rally car team. Later to snowmobile racing, motocross. I know the owner, Jason Fontaine, was a driver owner. He made a couple of NASCAR Grand National starts heading into the early 90s, I believe. It was late 80s, early 90s, I know that. As far without looking at any of my notes or excerpts here. I want to say Cami was founded in 1986, 87. Originally, Jason Fontaine had raced for other racing teams, and well, he wanted to capitalize on his own success and be his own, set his own destiny for his rally car career up in the Canadas and stuff like that, and WRC and so on and so forth. Canby never raced in Group Group B for World Rally and stuff like that, but pretty big up in the Canadian, circuits in the Canadian, rally scene. But I want to say around that ballpark was when Canby was founded. Like I said, he tried a couple starts in the Jason Fontaine is the fictional driver, yes, and he's also the fictional car owner and CEO of Canby. If you actually go back and go to the Daytona live stream, you'll see me introduce these characters and whatnot. Everyone has a name. My crew chief has a name. My spotter technically has a name. The director of competition has a name. Head mechanic has a name, so on and so forth. There are figures that I have established for this fictional racing career that they all have names. Like, if you go to... Yeah, so CEO, car owner, and founder, Jason Fontaine. Vice President, Pierre Gagne. Director of competition, she came in this last season, or the beginning of this season, Alison Cloutier. And then you have technical director Claude Dubois. For the NASCAR teams themselves, for the Busch Series, you have, of course, me and Ricky Craven driving right now. Crew chief is Robert Soucy. He's a new hire. And spotter is Paul Gagne. He was my spotter last season. Craftsman truck, we have Tim Lexington, the 78 team. We have crew chief Gerard Lacroix. He was my former crew chief. We have a spotter, Jackson Green. And then I now have Mike Chamberlain. And then I have a new hire, spotter, Terry Williams. So on and so forth. So yeah, everyone has a name. Of course, I forget half the names up half the time because in my day-to-day, but thought it was something interesting that I don't see a lot of, because a lot of these characters are, like, just dressed as a... No, I am not. She's a little, I'd put this nicely. I don't think she has any business being on Canby. I think that she's definitely ruffled some feathers since she has come in. And now I'm not particularly big. Both me and Lexington really aren't a fans. Ricky Craven's kind of impartial, just because he works a little... He works closely with the upper management. But Allison usually is not one of my favorites at the team. She's a little rough, a little brash, a little tough to communicate with, kind of so on and so forth. She's just kind of a pain, really. I know she's the director of competition, but she's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, we're just gonna put it out there pretty bluntly. She's just a pain in the ass. So, I know she means well and stuff like that. I know she has a job to do, and we have a job to do as well. But um, she's not very good with her deliveries. So, but she's our director of competition. So, I guess she has to direct us and point us in the direction of the competition and so on and so forth. But she's a bit of an ass. Like I said, I really not much a fan. So, but I suppose that's just by design. What's the backstory behind Smith Anderson Racing? Um, Never quite heard of them. Smith Anderson. Sorry, I was trying to see, like, how am I going to incorporate this new road into this roundabout, because it's very lopsided. So I'll have to kind of figure that out. What's probably going to happen is this lane's going to have the ability to turn right or enter straight. So it'll probably just be... I'll cut this off. They can still kind of go through the rotary. It's going to be a little disjointed. But anyways. But we have a park. Or at least the basis of a park. I'm just happy to see this again. Oh crap, that's right. Duh. Sorry, I way out there off in next year world, so pretty sure I almost want to say I've rebranded that team. Let me double check. I'm also wrapping it up here because I gotta get some food in my stomach and then get my butt to bed. So, let me see. I'm almost positive we rebranded that. It's not that one. I think it was not this one. Pretty sure it was this one. Ah, yes. Yeah, so it's no longer Smith Anderson. They are now Valhalla Circle. So they will have Ingvill, the driver of the my old ride, the 22. But she raced the old Pratt and Whitney Ford. Yeah, so she's going to be going to a startup team out of Norway, which would be owned by people by the last name of Anderson Smith. I guess we can incorporate that. I haven't quite changed that around yet and developed the full backstory behind them, but predominantly is they're a startup team, looking to dip their toes into this sport. Kind of in the highlight of the sport's popularity. But they came in, looking for a driver that could possibly race their, a truck of theirs. They've secured sponsors from Domino's Pizza, or secured a sponsor from Domino's Pizza to come in and stuff like that. And they're running a part-time schedule next season in the Busch Series, and they're gonna be running full-time in the trucks. But they're just part-time. They're definitely looking to get their toes in. They're mostly a Norwegian-based team, and Ingvill's a Norwegian-based driver, so it just kind of makes sense that they would tap into her, particularly, especially where she's been kind of gaining some popularity and turning some heads because she won the race at Portland. So she's a female starting to win some races in a sport that's predominantly, you don't see a lot of women in NASCAR, especially at this point, especially winning in a sense. I think the Truck Series has been a little better in diversity in that department, but you get up into like you get out of the Truck Series, go up to the Busch Series, and you get up into the Cup Series, and you really don't see it. So they're trying to capitalize on that with her being a leading woman figure in NASCAR. Just trying to get in, and I think it'd be good for the brand, brand notoriety for Domino's to come in and tap into a driver like that. So that's kind of their story a little bit. I mean, I'm definitely just summarizing and just kind of glossing over just who they are in particular, but that's kind of the general gist of who they are. They're just a startup team that's coming into the sport, and they're picking up a driver who has started to make a name for herself, and is definitely turning some heads, and they've definitely tapped into her because of who she is. But yeah, so that's Valhalla Circle. But at this point, though, I think I'm pretty much wrapped up. I'm about beat, and I'm not really sure where I'm going to be placing these buildings at this point. Got quite a lot of high rises back there, and I'd like to taper that down just a little bit. I think I have too many to work with now, and that's not generally good. I don't think I want a very dense look, so I'd like to get a few of these out of there. I know actually we have to add before I go, let's see, police, just because I'm going to forget to add it back. There it is. So this was the Trondheim Police Headquarters. And we don't have to add that over here. We can definitely move that somewhere in this general region, or we can even put it over here. I think actually keeping it close to the college campus wouldn't be a bad idea. Giving a little space though, because I think the tram line is going to be coming through here. I think that'd be kind of, yeah, we could make the tram line come through here. There'd be a stop on the back side of this building as it kind of comes along. Yeah, so that's going to be that. I think this is a good start to a new beginning. I know the A13 is going to pass somewhere kind of along the back side of the city. Be a couple exits that'll kind of dump into downtown. The B6 will still kind of come off the A13, and I think the B6 will then stretch across the river, and the B6 will kind of take, I mean, hell, we could actually have the A13. The A13 can actually go up that way and head towards the airport. I think that actually be a smart idea to have the A13 head towards the airport. Maybe the B6 could spur off of it and head out towards Stein at the Booked, which will sit over here again. I think that's probably a good idea to have it do that. So I think it'd be wise to keep the A13 as the main artery, especially heading out towards the airport, which the airport will sit over here. Quite a fair distance away, so there might actually be a need for a commuter rail line to head up that way as well. Which we also have to start thinking about how the hell are we getting the freight line across, because our most narrowest point, I believe, I think that was previously over here. Still relatively narrow. It's only about 3/4 of a mile. 3/4 of a mile long. So it's like somewhere over here or whatever. But yeah, so the train line could definitely come along and head that way. Nope, Square just released a video. Round 18 of 33, Daytona International Speedway. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing. Gonna eat some pizza and go finish watching, or go watch that. So, but I'd like to thank you all for joining me on this journey, and for joining me and getting back into Trondheim. It's definitely a little different now. A little more built up, a little more spacious, and I think that's something that I'm going to enjoy a little more. Of course, it'll be a little more stressful now, tying the areas together. But giving more of an actual city. Like I said, the train station is going to be over here on this little island, kind of like the actual Trondheim. I am going to narrow this up. Or I might even just move this down a little bit to kind of make this area narrow. It's kind of like a yacht club that would sit back here. Be like a little fishing harbor down over here. Be a little rail yard for the passenger service in the city. I think coming off of here would be a spur for the rail line, and that would snake its way along the riverfront over towards there. Kind of snake its way back along here. So the freight line will pass along, but there will be a spur that comes off and be one of the many areas of the city that's going to get serviced. So the main port, I think, will still sit over towards Kriegerhaven, which will be back up this way. I think it'll be important for that. Actually, Kriegerhaven might even be kind of over towards this way, with the airport being out here, a little further away. But anyways, before I get too lost in my thought, I better stop rambling and just get to bed. So thank you all for watching. It's good to see y'all. It's good to see you, Size Knight. I'll mess you tomorrow if I'm going to do the NASCAR stream before I get home from work, so that way you know. I'll keep you in the loop. If you have any more ideas for the 2000 or the series going forward, just shoot me an email like always, and we can bat some ideas around. But I'm going to bed. That's what I'm going to go do. So take one more look here at Trondheim, and yeah, we'll go from there. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take it easy.